Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 132 of the AllYouCanHear podcast. I'll be your host today, Patrick, and joining me today are my special co-hosts.
Travis Tank.
Komodo Dragon, Volkswagen Beetle.
What?
It's a car.
I'm not continuing this bit. I'm Jonathan.
Lucas?
And today is a very special episode. It's a very special anniversary for celebrating today because it's all about me. This is my second anniversary on the show, and this is Patcast 3, Pat's Choice. So today we'll talk about something I've been wanting to do for 2 damn years.
Yep.
We're finally doing the Tokusatsu cast. Hell yeah.
Pat's really excited.
I wasn't the one holding you back for that.
I wasn't
all
even,
Cody.
That was all
Tanner.
Cody and Tanner.
That's why they're not here today.
That's
Why were they so hesitant about it?
Oh, they
no,
weren't.
no, they weren't.
Well, fuck them.
But notice, because they're not here, we were the ones that did it. So that tells you something. They're a bunch of assholes.
That's a yikes.
Yeah. They're forever locked in the penalty closet.
Yeah, penalty box.
Yeah, pissing on them.
Yeah, that's what we do.
There's nothing but piss in that closet. Piss and slugs and giant millipedes.
Oh,
Oh,
fuck.
God.
Oh,
That's a bad combination.
I feel bad for the slugs and the millipedes. All
Yeah.
that piss.
It's part of the job.
We make them bark.
Okay,
I'm
that's
not associated with this.
It's just Lucas mumbling.
And like you said, this is to be the Tokusatsu cast. I'll be finally talking about one of my favorite things in the world, and that's Tokusatsu. For people who don't know, Tokusatsu is the Japanese term for live-action shows and movies that make heavy use of special effects. Technically, any live-action production in Japan that is considered Tokusatsu when they use special effects, but to a Western audience and to for our sort of general use, it's more specifically aimed at Japanese superhero shows. And just for sort of a bit of a history about the genre, Tokusatsu and the sort of modern idea of the word started in 1954 with the production of the original Godzilla movie.
Ooh.
And the producer Eiji Tsuburaya and Ishiro Honda, the director, they took a lot of influence from King Kong, and they built a foundation for sort of general Tokusatsu productions with the use of live effects with suit actors, miniature sets and props, pyrotechnics, and wire work. And with the release of Godzilla, that sort of kickstarted an entire genre within Tokusatsu, known as the kaiju movies, which is about giant monsters and Japanese film. And with the release of Godzilla, and the proliferation of characters like King Ghidorah, Mothra, and Gamera, this started the first big boom in Tokusatsu production, which is called the monster boom, because that's where they have this entire period of Japanese cinema that has a lot of giant monster movies. And later on in the 70s, a creator named Shotaro Ishinomori, he started the second boom, which is called the Henshin boom, because it's based around transforming superheroes. And that sort of steered away from monsters into this whole other sort of genre of it.
Oh, Shazam.
What? It's named the Henshin boom because...
No, Captain Marvel.
Yeah, there's 2 different kinds.
Okay.
It's so named as Henshin boom because Henshin is a Japanese word for transformation. And out of this sort of lineage comes from series like Kamen Rider, Super Sentai, Ultraman, and that's sort of what we'll be talking today about, is about Kamen Rider, Super Sentai, the 2 the most prominent shows in that sort of subgenre that I really had an affection for. And this is all coming from my enduring sort of appreciation and affection for Power Rangers, because Power Rangers is probably, aside from Godzilla, the most recognizable form of Tokusatsu in the States.
Oh, yeah.
Because Power Rangers is the American adaptation of the Japanese series Super Sentai. And while Super Sentai has been going on in Japan consistently since 1975, the Americans adaptation started in 1993 with Mighty Morphin, and it's continued on ever since. And that was actually the first show we watched today. we watched the current airing Super Sentai series, Kishu Sentai Ryu Soldier, which is about a clandestine series of knights that sort of has protected the world for eons from these evil sort of reptile beings and sort of their reemergence in the modern day. So what did y'all think of Ryu Soldier?
Power Rangers.
It was very Power Rangers,
Or,
but it
yeah.
felt very low budget compared to the Power Rangers I remember. It could be that I was a kid and I thought everything looked fucking awesome.
I was about to say, because
But
it
for-
seemed like average, like
Yeah.
like basic.
Just for my brain now, kind of looks like Dookie. Not really. The wigs bothered the hell out of me. That's my big
Yeah.
takeaway. Is that the costumes look awesome for the villains and the giant mech suit they had at the end, but I need to work on those damn wigs.
Yeah. I don't know. I have to agree with Cole. The wigs threw me off, but like other than that, I don't know. I thought it would be. I think it's pretty great for kids. Looks fun. Specifically the villains and designs looked awesome though. Like I remember on Pinterest, I've been looking at all these. I know it's art from something, but like I keep seeing these awesome villains, and I'm like, I have a feeling that like the ones that we saw in there were the same ones that I saw the concept art for on Pinterest. I don't know where exactly it's from, but it looks very good.
Because there's been a more transparency with the Toei production company, which produces Super Sentai and Kamen Rider, and they've recently started putting out like some of the production designs and concept art for the monsters. Because with Super Sentai and Kamen Rider, they are a yearly series. Because each year they have a new series with new characters, new gimmicks, and they run from the length of the year. Super Sentai usually starts around early winter, usually about February, whereas Kamen Rider starts late summer, like around August. So they have these two series that are sort of running concurrently, sort of staggered, and they're very high energy, very action driven, very merchandise driven, because it's principally while there is a story with compelling characters, it is, cynically speaking, it's designed to sell toys.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, what?
Every single
No
prop,
way.
every single prop they used was a toy. Like,
The swords that clamp down.
Yes.
And put little gadgets inside their mouths and stuff.
exactly.
Jump, 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 jump.
What would it say? It was like whenever you come on.
What are you saying?
Whenever. What do you mean?
He went chomp, chomp, chomp.
But no, in the sword, like when it, like what it would say specifically, like they had a specific phrase.
Red guy.
No, when it was fucking chomping.
Chomp.
It did not say chomp. It said something, an actual word. You know what? Whatever. Okay, no, wait. We were on the car ride over here. This motherfucker was trying to describe a Pokemon to me, and he said it looked like a fucking butthole.
Yes, it does.
And that was
Gigalist's first evolution. It looks like a butthole.
But he was like, that's all he gave me, and that it was yellow. Like,
No, I was saying it like the ring around its eye is yellow.
but it
and
doesn't look like a butthole. It looks like a fucking
butthole.
eye.
All right.
Some
I'm gonna have to agree with Colt, because
it
if it's
looks
the
like a
Pokemon I
butthole.
think about, it looks like an
No,
asshole.
fucking look it up. Look that shit up,
All right, I will.
motherfucker.
I don't remember its name.
Like, he does this where he'll try to describe something and then give me I do it too, because sometimes it's really hard to describe things, yes, but motherfucker, like, do not do this to me when you did this to me earlier. Fuck.
Can y'all not have your marital spat on my anniversary episode?
I'm
That's
sorry.
exactly what you imagined it
It's
would
called
be.
Roggenrola. And
Yeah,
it looks like
more
a
or
fucking
less.
butthole.
Motherfucker. That looks like a fucking eye.
That looks like a butthole.
What
That looks like an asshole.
What
Wenzel.
asshole is geometric?
No one's asshole is geometric. It doesn't look exactly like an asshole.
But oh my god, of course it doesn't look exactly like a fucking asshole. Oh my god.
That looks like a butthole. What does everybody else think?
Art is subjective.
Thanks,
Does it look like a
Lucas.
butthole?
I'm staring at two buttholes.
It's whatever you want.
Oh, got him.
It looked like a butthole. Look it up. Decide for yourself.
Anyway, here's one of the monster designs or a design for something. I don't know.
Oh, that's Persona.
Is
Not
it?
Persona. Shin Megami Tensei. Sorry.
Yeah. Because
Yeah, that's Shin Megami Tensei.
okay. Don't give me that fucking smart ass look.
Dumbass.
How would I know. I'm not saying that's from the fucking shows. I'm just saying that like the villains in these shows specifically, like with their like costume designs, they're obviously like implementing a certain aspect of whatever creature, animal, or machine or whatever. And like when I saw these, that's exactly a lot of these art I have saved on Pinterest. A lot of them are like that, of like concept art of like villains or creatures that are like the aspects of other animals and stuff like that.
But to your point, that is a big thing about Sentai and Kamen Rider, is that all the monsters are sort of, they have a general theme, with like an alien or a plant or an animal or like a machine. And with Ryu Soldier, it's because the good guys, the Rangers or the Sentai, they're all based off dinosaurs. Like the Red Ranger has a T-Rex, the Blue Ranger has a Triceratops, and the Pink Ranger has a Ankylosaur. Mm-hmm. And like with these knights, they sort of, like I said earlier, they're part of this secret group of knights who have sort of serviced humanity from the shadows for millions of years. And when we pick up on the show, they're sort of like the last remnants of this sort of order. Mm-hmm. And then they sort of reactivate at a time when their like ancient foes, the Druidons, have sort of returned to Earth from escaping to space after causing the mass extinction of the dinosaurs.
Which is like, why? Like, they're a bunch of dicks.
And the three heroes, they've sort of been newly christened by their respective masters of Red, Blue, and Pink. And over the course of their training, they run into like basically this YouTube girl who's trying to like get her to start. Like
she
as
started
like an internet
in
star.
a weird place, I'll say, for recent events for this episode. Whenever it came out, I'm assuming, is this the newest one?
Yeah, Ryu Soldier started this year.
Yeah, it happened around the same time the Logan Paul stuff was happening. Weird place to do it, where that guy filmed a person hanging from a tree.
Oh yeah, but did she do that in the Suicide Forest?
No, but it's a weird place to do it.
In a forest?
She was just filming in the forest. It wasn't.
It was
the
Aokigahara. It said Aokigahara.
But that's what I asked. You said no.
No, I don't remember saying no. I'll be honest.
You just said no.
Whatever.
Okay, whatever.
I misunderstood.
Oh, but I did think it was funny when she was like, "I'm in the Amazon." It clearly wasn't the fucking Amazon. Like, no. It's fall.
Well, you obviously want to have a world traveling show, but you do it on a budget.
Yeah, of course.
Until you get those YouTube clicks.
Yeah.
It was after the burning, so it was a lot thinner.
Okay. Oh shit. Rest in peace.
It burned down. That's like
too
soon. All that's left.
Too soon.
We're all going to die.
And so, like,
yeah, keep up the positive vibes, Pat.
Fine. I'll move away from the death of our greatest force back to our show, if I can.
I don't know. Can you?
I don't know. Can you?
Pull it off, Pat. Dude.
It's really my show. I hate it.
Okay.
So the YouTube girl, she gets involved with the knights by falling into their sort of secret lair, and she has to be carted away, which leads to a great bit. Their master tells them, you have to erase this girl's memories, and when he takes her out to the side, he has a hammer that says mind eraser, mind wiper.
Like, it was a fucking sledgehammer.
Yeah, I was about to say, Pat's not selling, like, he's burying the lead. It wasn't just a hammer, it was a goddamn sledgehammer. It was like, that's one way to erase her memories. It's also a way to erase her brain.
Yeah, so she'll never remember this or anything ever again. But she does. But there was like an earthquake, and she escapes. So
the earthquake was caused by a giant dinosaur.
I know.
I'm just the design was pretty fucking rad.
Yeah, it was.
Saying.
It reminded me of Godzilla, and there's another Godzilla kaiju that I don't know the name of. It looked like a mixture of the two.
Destroyer?
I think so.
I was about to say Destroyer. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
It is a Godzilla monster.
I was gonna say there's like a lot of kaiju that like. It reminded me of one. I think it might have been from Gamera's lineup. I can't remember. It was like. Well, never mind. That's not it. Sorry, wrong one. No, I was thinking of the one monster that has it's like a long fucking knife.
Oh, I think that's Guiron?
Giron, yeah.
Yeah, Giron.
Yeah, and then I was thinking about the other one that's like it's like a ripoff of Rodan, which it's like a very like pointed head, like kind of like triangular.
Gauss.
Yes. So
Which the Millennium trilogy of Gamera, at least in like the late 90s, early 2000s, that's a very good Toku trilogy.
oh yeah,
Because when that trilogy was coming out, sidebar, it actually supplanted the Godzilla series for a while.
oh wow,
Because during that time, Godzilla was still making movies, but they were introducing all these new monsters, and people weren't really catching on to them because they weren't like the familiar favorites. So Gamera, who's always sort of like the understudy of the Godzilla, had like a brief rise in prominence where he sort of overtook Godzilla. Gamera being this giant
flying space turtle
monster that was spun by shooting fire out of his leg holes and spinning around.
It was badass. I love Gamera.
That sounds like the most metal fucking thing. ever.
Gamera's whole thing was fucking violent. Like Godzilla was like, certain movies like were violent, but like Godzilla was very playful. But like with Gamera, like these monsters got chopped up and fucking bled. It was gory.
Well, definitely with that Millennium trilogy, because like Gamera was like his in the show era, which is like usually which was like between 1928 to 1989, 1979. It's shit. I have it in my notes.
Is it really that old?
Yeah, because in Japan they had periods of their history marked by the reigning emperor, their figurehead emperor, and the Showa era was 1929, to 1989.
Wow.
So that's a period of 60 years. But typically, when you talk about Toku in the Showa era, most likely it's going to come from the 1970s, because that was when Toku on television was really getting started.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And when Gamera had his length of movies in the Showa era, it was very child friendly because he was known as like the protector of children.
Oh, okay. Wasn't a child-friendly show because I saw a fucker's arms and legs get cut off.
Yeah. Plus, I have to remember, like, Japan has, like, vastly different sort of, like I guess, production standards, what's okay for children, because they have, like, a lot more violence and, like, I guess, swearing, but that just really depends on who's subbing
like
the
damn,
material.
hell, and stuff like that will go under the radar, no problem.
And like, sort of, like, sexually explicit material in the fan service, that's all very different in Japan.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure.
And when like sort of wrapping up with Reed Soldier, the monster attacks the temple, and they sort of were able to resurrect their mecha for the season, the Dino Knight, which is the combination of the T-Rex, the Triceratops, and the Ankylosaur, which leads to probably one of the most like balls out like opening episodes for a mech I've seen in Sentai.
There's so many explosions. I think the robot destroyed more than the monster. Oh, I forgot the monster did like a Shin Godzilla shit where like it shot lasers out the back.
Yeah,
that was pretty neat.
That was a really cool callback to Shin Godzilla because it had been out for a few years at that time, and Shin Godzilla was massively popular.
Yeah.
And what I loved about like that fight was, one, it was like over the top. Like every time he stepped, it's like there was an explosion.
Yeah, hundreds
but
of
like,
animals died.
but like remembering as a kid, like the from like the Power Rangers, we'd watch. The one thing I wasn't that big of a fan of was like the giant mecha fights, because it was very just like stiff and just like but this was really animated. The robot was just doing flips and awesome shit.
It was
It looked
really
cool.
impressive
Yeah.
how mobile they were.
Yeah, and it's just as like a bulky costume as like some of the stuff in like Power Rangers and stuff like that.
Because that's something I wanted to ask, is like, because everybody's had some sort of connection with Super Sentai via Power Rangers, at least as a child, and that's something I wanted to find out from the panels. Like, what does your memories of Power Rangers look like compared to the Japanese source? At least, like the most recent version of it.
I don't know. It reminded me of it, like, very much. Bad wigs.
Or a bad wig. He's only the Blue Ranger had a wig, because he had a
Gandalf's wig too.
Gandalf. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gandalf Jesus.
But especially like the costumes and sort of the action and the fighting to me was a lot more like I said earlier, like animated and lively.
Yeah, I feel like maybe.
But granted, I have not watched Power Rangers in fucking 15 years.
Yeah,
so.
it's been such a long time. I was gonna say though, I feel like the villain costumes were better than what were in Power Rangers.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen it in a long time, so I couldn't tell you.
I thought it was a lot of fun. Like, from what I remember Power Rangers being, like, it was, like you were saying, really clunky, slow, and under, like, low budget type of stuff.
Yeah.
So you're, like, being a little kid, your imagination kind of filled in the blanks. But I feel like this show, like, brought in those blanks, like, where it was animated, a lot more modern.
Yeah.
So a lot more special effects were added in, like, cool, like, anime slashes were happening, and delayed explosions were happening. I thought that was a really, really cool touch.
Yeah, no, it was fun.
And something I wasn't really expecting, and this isn't just for this show, it's for all the shows we watched, except for like maybe the last one, was how like anime, a lot of the comedic timing and editing was. Where I was like,
yeah.
this is basically just live action anime.
Yeah, because I forgot there was a bit in there with the YouTube girl was like she was like bouncing around from like all the different like or the 3 different nights, and like that was like straight up because like the way they did it is like she was at one person and then it cut to her at the next and cut to another, and that's straight up from like an anime when like to show like a person being excited and like trying to go to different people and stuff. It was literally that, and like you said, like I completely, I knew they did that stuff, but it's like it just slipped my mind, and
It kind of fit perfectly with like what they're going for.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That's something I will say. Like, if you have any sort of like affinity for like anime or sort of like to use to what sort of storytelling and presentation they have with their characters, I feel like it will be a good transition into watching tokusatsu because that's one of the things that sort of just endeared me to it is because like it is because the comedy and just sort of like I don't know, I'm just like a very I always kind of felt like I always had like a child's heart. Mm-hmm. And that's something that's what's able to like really ingratiate me in this fandom, and like it is sort of very, very fun, and it's like very energetic, and just like I love hyperbole and over the top shows, and and like everything about Sentai and Kamen Rider and just Toku in general. It's like it's to the far extremes of like imagination and fun, and that's just something that keeps me with the these shows because it's so much fun to watch.
Yeah.
Even if it is ostensibly a children's show, there's still tons of people like adult fans that just really just love just the simple and fun storytelling of it all.
Yeah, well, we'll get to it with the next 2 shows, but definitely very, 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 very fun.
And when jumping tracks a little bit, we're talking about Kamen Rider, which is different from Super Sentai, because Super Tensei is sort of like it's a band of transforming heroes who have like mecha and weapons, and sort of like it's all about the strength of teamwork over the individual. And where Kamen Rider, it usually focuses on a single hero at first, and then his sort of like lone struggle against these like greater evil forces. And Kamen Rider started in 1971 by, like I said, Ishinomori. And so he had several series that he sort of brought up about like individual his heroes, but Kamen Rider was the most popular, most I guess profitable one. And like Sentai, it's been running consistently since the 1970s. And like I said with Sentai, each year is a different theme, different motif and gimmick. And the current airing series is Kamen Rider 01, which is definitely their big spearhead to sort of push the series in a different direction, at least in a different sort of feeling, because this year was the start of the Reiwa era, which is the newest emperor took over, and this is sort of like to coincide with that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And 01 takes place in sort of like a near future where a struggling comedian is sort of existing in a world
Wait. I know this one. Joker.
Oh.
He does live in a society filled with near-human robots put out by the Hedon Corporation. And it sort of follows his sort of increasing entanglement with this sort of corporation via a avenue he never didn't expect, because his distant grandfather, is the president
Yep, and he died, and he gave him the entire company in his will.
That's a good idea.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, because the grandson that is wanting to be a comedian, and he's not doing so hot at that. I don't even know if he met him. Honestly.
I don't know. Who knows? I'm hoping like at some point during the show, the grandson's like, all I have are negative thoughts.
God damn.
I'm ready.
Because we did joke at the beginning of where like he's just like so bad. It was like, oh my god, this is fucking Joker.
Yeah, and he was like, I want to make people smile, and it's like, this is Arthur. Where's Joaquin Phoenix?
Well, it's sort of funny because the main character, his name is Aruto. So there's like this. It is sort of funny juxtaposition because it's coming out around the same time as Joker did. So it's this weird like failed comedian.
Yeah,
but Aruto he gets this special weapon from his grandfather that lets him fight these evil robots.
Which is like, it's like his grandfather planned for this from the. He planned for this from the beginning. He was like, "There's gonna be the face great evil, and I have to give my company to my grandson. And when he gets his company, he's gonna get this awesome power suit, and he's gonna kick some ass."
The level of clairvoyance the granddad has is
It kind of makes you like, he's kind of an asshole.
Yeah, he's like, why did you do something about this sooner?
like you knew this was gonna happen. Why did you stop it?
Why'd you create these things if you knew that they would do
Because-
that?
And I mean, granted, this was just like the first episode we watched.
Yeah.
They might address that later on.
No, because he's in the satellite, and he was like, I want to watch this shit go down.
Okay.
I mean, come on. Wouldn't you want to be an AI, like, after you died and be like, man, the world's getting crazy. This is awesome.
No, honestly,
That doesn't sound good.
I'd probably just be looking at a bunch of dogs and interchange with big ass.
And Pokemon.
In Pokemon AI. In my AI.
No,
world.
that's fine. That's good. It's fair.
Fuck that. All right.
Yeah. Anyway, Kamen Rider looked awesome. The guy Aruto, his design specifically, like his suit was based off a grasshopper.
Because they made a lot of clear ties with the original Kamen Rider and this current one because Ishinomori he based the original Kamen Rider off a grasshopper, and that sort of like inset like motif is sort of been consistent with every character, even though each series has a different game. Like one's about magic, one's about space travel, one's about fruit samurai. Like each one is sort of like very varied and different, but like sort of the central design of the character, like compound eyes and antenna, that's always in every suit. And they made a very direct line, this being the first of the Reiwa era compared to the very first Kamen Rider, which was in the Showa era. Mm-hmm. And so that's something with the Kamen Rider series and sort of in Super Sentai too, is they always make like clear connections to previous series. They always do like sort of anniversary season where they look back. So there's always a lot of bringing the past into the present.
Yeah. And the villain he fought was pretty much like a praying mantis.
Yeah.
Which was awesome.
His way his blades came out.
He had
of
like the
his
scythes.
arms.
Oh,
Very
that looks so
nice.
cool. Yeah. No, they looked really. This I really really enjoyed this. This was really fun.
Yes.
Like
To his point, because the bad guys in this series, because the evil organization, their translated name is Thunderclap of Destruction.
oh fuck.
Clapping those cheeks.
And they're because they seem to be in the ruins of a destroyed city, and their sort of idea is they're going to purposely sort of corrupt all the human like androids that live in the world and sort of turn that against the people. Presumably, some sort of technological disaster is what destroyed their city.
Yeah.
And what they do is they go to all these human androids who have different roles in the world, like law enforcement, cook, firefighter, and one that Aruto had a contact with, a comedian, gut busting Taro.
Yeah, super buff dude.
And his gimmick is he just flexes and his abs shoot out like missiles and confetti comes out.
Yep, and it's supposed to be super funny. And
Yeah,
I was
everybody died laughing.
I mean, I was laughing, so he got me.
Could you imagine being a fan and catching one of his abs?
Oh, yeah, it would be awesome.
And the fun thing is the robot comedian, he's actually a real comedian. Like he's
really?
That's part of his
Oh.
gimmick. He's just a super buff comedian.
What? Okay, what a gimmick. But he was awesome. He became the praying mantis villain, which was awesome. And then he infected other androids and made them into like their minions, like the standard minions, which they looked awesome too.
Yeah, I love their helmets.
Because it was literally just their skin like disintegrated, and then their whatever it turned into a helmet over their like skeleton. And when Kamen Rider is fighting the praying mantis guy, one of them is malfunctioning and attempts to attack one of the underlings of the organization. And Pat sent this a real long time ago, and we fucking saw it again. It was like, I don't even know how to describe it. Literally, like, he knew it was happening, so he was laughing. And Pat, how would you describe this?
John Wick maneuver, basically.
Because you have one of the members of the Equal organization. He's this man is like this very energetic man in like a purple cloak, and he's sort of watching all the devastation unfold. He's seeing like the evil androids, they're corrupted androids, they're attacking people, they're hurting people, they're destroying the theme part that the story is taking place in. And one of the corrupted androids, sees him, oh, he's like a person, I have to destroy this person. Yeah. And so, like, without even sort of really reacting to the uncommon android, he grabs the android, kind of spins him around in a chokehold, pulls out his gun, and just blows his brains out.
all the while, just like laughing the
just
knife.
Laughing. It was the most fucking like just nonchalant comedic shit ever, and it was a real gun.
Yeah, just a straight up, just 1911.
Exactly, it was that. And, like, no fake guns, no it was a real gun. He shot that man in the head. It was good. It was very good.
It makes a very great GIF.
It does.
Yeah. It says so. You have Kamen Rider as he's taking on the Mantis villain, and sort of like he defeats him by activating his grasshopper powers, jumping from one sort of thrown vehicle to the next.
Oh,
and then activating the signature move of every Kamen Rider, which is the Rider Kick.
Yeah.
Which is his finishing move in this show called Rising Impact, where he is in the air and he just drill kicks through the praying mantis. It destroyed, and there's a massive explosion.
It was awesome.
And we also teased to possibly his rival Rider, because there's a group called AIMS, which is a sort of paramilitary organization set out to apprehend and destroy any malfunctioning human gears.
Yeah, the one cop who was like, I'm tired of this shit. I hate all robots. Kind of slightly racist. And he pulls out this awesome big-ass gun and almost shoots his buddy cop in the fucking face.
I think that's his superior. He's just not following any orders.
Because
his friend,
the woman on the team, she is his superior, because she's sort of over the technology. Mm-hmm. So there's a great bit in the next episode where he tries to transform, but since no one can act on their technology without her permission, she says she says lock, and his gun just completely locks and it falls to the ground.
Fuck, nice.
So he can't transform without her permission, basically.
Oh, man.
But he's a hothead, and he doesn't listen to her, so there's a nice conflict.
Yeah, nice.
He's in the wrong. Fuck him.
Wait, yeah, okay.
And so, like, just these two shows, like, it has me very excited to see how these series progress, because I've been watching a little bit here and there with both Re-Soldier and 01, and I haven't seen a Sentai Rider series that I haven't at least enjoyed, and I think these two have very strong futures ahead of them.
Yeah, the next Kamen Rider show was great.
Yeah, the next show was which is the series that started in 2007 to 2018, which is Kamen Rider Build, which is what sort of like my start with watching Kamen Rider began with, and it takes place in a Japan where, after a recent trip to Mars, a box is brought to Earth known as Pandora's box, and once it was opened or touched by a human being, 3 walls sort of erupt across Japan, erecting these giant barriers, splitting the country into 3 parts. And after that incident, we're introduced to Sento Kiryu, which is a amnesiac scientist. He's very energetic and very sort of enthused by any mysteries of science, and sort of follows his journey in sort of recovering his memories and dealing with the monsters and the fallout of the Skywall incident.
Yeah, he every time he sees anything like science related, his hair gets a boner.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, his hair goes up. It's literally like alfalfa, whatever.
It's just like a monster cow that just pops up every time he's enthused by science.
Yeah, which I I love this. I love this show. I like the whole thing with him and like because literally the belt that Pat has and is spitting at the very beginning is the belt from the show where he takes 2 capsules and puts them in his belt and he combines like 2, one animal or one living creature and one like object or something.
Basically, with his gimmick with this season is that he's combining 2 objects. He combines an organic property like an animal or a person or a living thing with an inorganic property, which is like any sort of like material, mineral, vehicle, any sort of inanimate object, and he combines the 2 together. And his base form being comprised of rabbit and a tank,
which was awesome. seeing that like the colors, like the blue and the red, it just looks so good. And like he has like a tread on one foot and then a spring on the other. Like I don't know, I love his design. And then he the monsters he fights are called Smashes.
They're called Smash.
And he defeats one in the very beginning, and he ends up getting a capsule for a hedgehog. And he later uses that, which that was awesome too. The hedgehog with tank. He had a fucking little spike hand. He beat the shit out of one of the monsters. I don't even know what it was, but it looked cool too.
He left like spike prongs inside of him as well. Like,
yeah,
he hit him.
Yeah, that was so awesome.
It just made me want to see the more combinations they can get.
I know, like no, this show like I want to watch more of it. It seems like so fun and like, oh man, dang Pat.
Welcome to your next new obsession because what's with the Kamen Rider? Because like each season there's a gimmick, and his gimmick they're called full bottles because he had bottles full of like whatever energy that he was able to absorb, and they're sort of like really endless combinations because with the toy you put in each whatever bottle of whatever capacity and it recognizes it and it combines it for you, makes corresponding sounds based on whatever it's put in. So it's a really neat toy. And in the show, like he finds things called best matches because he can put any 2 bottles together and use their powers together, but it's only a best match when these 2 objects work in perfect harmony. That's why he's able to use rabbit and tank so effectively. So you could use tank and hedgehog, but they're kind of like they don't really mash up. Like it sees in the next episode, he gets diamond gorilla.
Ah, fuck.
Which is like because all the combos they don't really make any sense. I don't know if there's any sort of like Japanese wordplay or Japanese sort of like translation issues that just don't quite link across the state, but they're all combined in really interesting ways. Just for example, he gets shark motorcycle, tiger UFO, smartphone wolf. Like they're all just strange combinations, and they're all great.
No, it sounds fun.
So it's a great series, and we're also introduced to a character, Banjo Ryuga, which is sort of like who will become his sort of secondary rider.
Yeah.
His best friend, who's like he's also an amnesiac. He escaped from the same facility that Sento did because Sento, from the little recollection he has, he was trapped in a science lab, experimented on, and that's how he's able to have like improved human resistance and fighting capabilities. And Banjo escaped from that as well. And seemingly that's where every Smash comes from. They were also experimented on.
Yeah, Banjo-Kazooie.
Uh-huh.
And I just really enjoyed the climax of the show after he takes down the Smash using his sort of like quadratic equation rider kick. He hops on his motorcycle, which is also his phone.
Yep.
And he has a harrowing chase across the sky wall, these giant walls that are erected from the Martian box. And he's dodging like the robot riders, and there's like driving down the walls, like using his spike, and it's a crazy harrowing journey.
Oh yeah, no, it was super sick when he was like he got off his motorcycle for a little bit, so like his friend would drive it, and then they were shooting rockets, and he kicked all of them. It was so fucking that was awesome. Nah, I love this. I'm into this.
So, like I said, Build is what got me into watching regularly, and it's a great starting point, I think, for Kamen Rider because it is very new, it's very recent, and I think it's from just what I've read, it's definitely one of the strongest seasons in the last few years, and it has great music too. The outro and intro are one of my favorites.
That was the thing with all of these shows; like they all had really good music.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, we didn't mention for the first show. They've all the power the group, the Dino Knights, whatever. They all danced.
Yeah, they did a little dance, had a little fun, get down.
Yeah,
because with Sentai, because they're all children, so but Sentai aimed just a little bit younger for its audience.
Yeah,
and with a lot of Sentai season, the outro is sort of a dance because like the children, that they'll have a dance, they can learn a song they can learn, and usually there's a part halfway through the show they'll have like a montage of all the little kids doing the dance.
Oh, okay.
So it's really cute, and like one of the things I liked about the music in this Sentai show we watched, Reed Soldier, because it's based off knights and chivalry. It has this like almost kind of like Celtic sound, like European sound with their lay motifs, and that's something I really like. And on top of like the sort of the J-pop and J-rock with the other shows.
Yeah, the basketball team, Celtics.
And the last Kamen Rider series we watched was Kamen Rider Amazons, which is a series from 2016-2017 as a sort of a more mature reboot of a Showa era series, Amazon. And this follows a young man who's been imprisoned in his own home for as long as he can remember. But he has this sort of unusual connection with a shadowy organization, an organization that dispenses mercenaries to fight off these monsters known as the Amazons.
Yeah, and the organization is ran by his adoptive mother, or the mother that took him in. And man, like it's 45 minutes, right?
Yeah, each episode is 45 minutes of Kamen Rider Amazons,
and it's like really long. It was actually kind of fun too. Like
I really enjoyed it for what we watched.
Yeah,
we were having buffering issues, and
fuck yeah.
The fighting seemed really cool in the end. I really enjoyed that fighting.
Yeah, especially with the one guy that comes in who eats raw fucking eggs, and nobody questions it. They're all like, "Oh, who is this guy?" Like, not the important question, but he turns into some red looking fucker, and it was awesome.
Because the second person that comes in is the sort of rival to the main character. He's Kamen Rider Alpha, and he's a very sort of like detached character. He sort of lives on his own, and he has his own agenda with fighting the Amazons.
Oh, he needs to protect his chickens.
Oh yes,
Yep.
So he can get more eggies.
Yeah,
and because the show opens with the mercenary team fighting a spider Amazon in a hotel that was sort of hiding in, and sort of had eaten all the people there, and they sort of have to masquerade as like a extermination team, like a pest control team as they're sort of fighting, and sort of like the gritty, like close quarter combat in the hotel was like, I thought that was a great way to open the show, and it's a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah,
with classical music playing in the background from them, like trying to quiet all the gunshots in the neighborhood.
There might be loud sounds.
Ignore them, please. Ignore them.
Fucking machine guns going off. It's like, I thought they were here to kill fleas. What the fuck's going on?
Just really big fleas.
Oh yeah, really big bed bugs.
And so as the show progresses, we're introduced to Haruka, the main character. So he's sort of like imprisoned in this sort of immaculate home. He's sort of given everything he needs, but he doesn't really know why he's never allowed to leave his house, and why he's constantly sort of under lock and key from his adopted mother.
Yeah.
And it seems to be that he has a connection to the corporation that she runs, and sort of an unspecified at this point incident where these sort of creatures got loose. And it's sort of revealed that he's part of this Amazon program where he's a monster as well. And he sort of shows up at the climax of the show to sort of combat these other two rogue Amazons.
Yeah, because there was one of the team members on the extermination or assault team. They were he can turn into Amazon as well. Is that correct?
Yes, because each team has the sort of a preferred fighting method. Like there's a girl, she fights and punches and kicks, and one sniper rifle, shotgun. And they have one who can control his Amazon transformation. Because usually when someone turns into Amazon, it's like they're a mindless beast that hunts down humans. And for whatever reason, as you'll find out in the show, the character Mamoru, he can transform into a mole Amazon.
Yeah,
and
okay.
fight for the team and control it and activate it at will.
Yeah, and then there was one guy who reveals himself to be an Amazon, and he turns into what does he turn into?
He's a dragonfly Amazon.
Oh, okay. Yeah, which that looked really cool too. So they had to fight like another spider Amazon and then some bat Amazon, and then that's when Kamen Rider Alpha comes in, and then that's when for like 10 minutes it was just the main kid character just breathing. It was so disgusting, and it's like finally the fucker turns into his Kamen Rider, which we very vaguely see what it is. It looked really cool though, and the reason why he does this is because he's been told by his adopted mother that he's really sick and that he needs to take his medicine, and he just doesn't take his medicine, which is like a syringe with liquid, and he starts breathing really heavily and he turns into a monster.
And so what draws him to the fight, because he can sense other Amazon, much like the Mamoru on the team.
Oh, okay.
And so like he's sort of drawn to that. And with this series, this is definitely more of an adult program. This is definitely more mature. It has a longer runtime. I do enjoy this show because it has a lot of really great action and it's sort of a great sort of build up with the story. Just going in, it's definitely more of a slow burn.
Yeah. It's a nice change of pace, though. I did enjoy it.
Because with the other show, they're children until they have to go like pedal to the metal.
Yeah, super fast, super friendly.
So, but these are all shows I would definitely recommend. Unfortunately, just with sort of the limited availability with Toku in the West, Kamen Rider Amazon is the only currently legally streaming series. It's available appropriately enough on Amazon Prime. Mm-hmm. Both seasons are available now, and it's definitely something I would recommend. Just sort of like to see both sides. You have sort of the child friendly, the more like upbeat, positive,
colorful,
toyetic shows, and you have a more like down to earth, more like subdued, more psychological thriller version of it. And it's very nice to see sort of the comparison between the two.
Yeah. For sure.
And the last Toku show we're talking about,
the best one
is Spider-Man. You may be thinking, "What? Spider-Man is not Japanese." Well, in 1978, there was a license share agreement between Marvel and the Toei company, where Marvel gave the rights to use some of their characters in Japan. And one of the sort of the results of that agreement is the Spider-Man series, which is basically it follows the story of a young man whose life is saved by a human-like alien, and sort of is thrust into a war against an invading alien group known as the Iron Cross Army. And the thing is,
it's not what you think it is.
There's no Peter Parker, no Uncle Ben. This isn't your Mama Spider-Man.
Because the only thing about Spider-Man that bears any recognition to the old comic book, is just the concept of Spider-Man and the suit. Because everything else, Japan was given carte blanche to make whatever the hell they wanted.
I don't know. I think I remember in all the Spider-Man movies, Professor Monster,
Spider Planet,
Iron Cross Army,
Planet Spider,
Spider Zord,
Leopardon, Marveler. Yeah, I think that was all in the movies. What are you talking about, Pat? Don't you pay attention? I thought you liked comics. Pat, we talked about this. You talked that if you put it down, I put it down. But now you put it up, I put it up.
Y'all crossed me far too many times in this episode, undermining me, cutting me off at my feet. I don't appreciate this.
Well, Pat, I give you that. Who's gonna run the podcast now?
I didn't see shit.
And so with Spider-Man, the main character Takuya, he's a motorcycle rider. And he's sort of trying to get his start, and he sort of because his father is a professor who finds out about Marvel, the spaceship from Planet Spider, and he's made target by the Iron Cross Army.
What is his profession? It's like an astroarchaeologist.
Yeah, astroarchaeologist.
Yep.
He studies ruins in space.
Which, I mean, that sounds cool, but
it will be a thing.
It will be.
It will be a thing.
Oh no, there will be astropaleontology, archaeology,
Sociology, biology,
yeah,
So
psychology.
You're saying it's ahead of its time, right?
yeah. Oh, for sure.
And so, like, what's my favorite thing about
He's
this
breaking that ground.
about the show is just like how, like, we talked about the first shows being like fast paced, but this is like so frenetically paced that within the first 10 minutes they throw so much at you, because the main character's father, he gets attacked and killed by the Iron Crest army and their monster, this like
Dark
cybernetic
Ninja.
dinosaur.
Yeah.
And but the fun thing is, like, it's just so whip fast. It's just frenetic, because you have like the head henchwoman. She's sort of darting in and out, but
Yeah.
she's kind of not really very present. She's kind of just like has these close up looks around, darts off, and sends the duck-billed villains out to fight Spider-Man.
And you say it's so like fast. It's the only reason why it's so fast is because fucking every shot is of Spider-Man running away or hanging on walls, or like the fucking duck guys like doing badly cut flips.
Well, and then there's that one shot on top of the dam where they're running forward, but then they start doing backflips.
They start doing backflips, but to make it seem like they're doing front flips, they do it very quickly where they snap, 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 and it's like, no, they're doing backflips. Stop trying to trick us.
Or
Pat looks so offended. He's like, I love this show.
It's very funny, because like you see the henchman approaching for the first time, but it's done in a very like unusual way. 'Cause I guess you're trying to show off like how nimble and adept the henchmen are, but they run forward, backflip. So like it's just like they take one step forward, two step back. It just seems a very like unpractical way of getting around.
and it's like a 30-second scene. It's pretty long for something that.
But it's so fucking good.
Oh, it's hilarious.
And the thing is, I don't remember seeing Dr. Yamashiro get killed.
No, it literally, like, what's the main character's name?
Takuya.
He like is like driving in the wood. Okay, I gotta fast like rewind, because it's a string of events that is just fucking insane. So he starts hearing this guy talking in his head. He's like, "Come avenge me, brother, come."
Yeah.
He's like, "What the fuck?" He starts seeing like spider webs in the sky.
Yeah.
And then like he's supposed to go to this motorcycle race, and then he has this little brother, this tiny kid, and the kid hops on the motorcycle. He's like, "Yeah, let's go!" And then he starts hearing the voices, and he's like, "Okay, kid." Picks him up, takes him off, hard cut. He's in the woods.
And like, he doesn't say anything to kid. The kid doesn't know what's going on.
Yeah, he doesn't say anything to the kid. He literally just grabs him by the waist, picks him up, puts him down, hard cut. He's driving in the woods. The editing to the show was so weird. And then he runs into like his sister, and then I guess it's his dad's assistant, and they're like, "We got attacked." And then they find his dad on these rocks just laying there, and then as he approaches him, gives him this long ass soliloquy about, it's like, "I was going to do this, but now you have to take the mantle." And he doesn't really seem like he's going to die, and then he just kind of flops.
Yeah.
Wow, I missed a lot.
Yeah, I was hoping.
Well, I will say this. This is the second time I've seen this. Pat showed this to me before one day.
Okay, nice. And then after that, he gets attacked, and he falls down what seems to be a very sheer drop. And
he should have died.
And that's where he meets his long-lost
Brother.
alien brother, who, for some reason, he's like, "I've been calling out, and the only one that can hear me is my brother. So you must be my brother."
Well, it's not a brother in a literal sense. It's more like a kindred spirit.
No, I took that as literal, Pat.
Like, I'm gonna get shot again, little man.
Death suits me. And then his brother dies. Galeria, whatever his name is.
And then, he turns into a spider.
Oh, my bad. He turns into a spider.
Because Garia saves Takuya's life, because Takuya got his neck cut by one of the duck-billed bad guys, and as he falls into the hole, he gives him the spider bracelet.
and
injects him with spider juice.
But see, what gets me is that he's from Planet Spider, and then he's like, I've been in this cave for 400 years, and I had to deal with these poisonous spiders. So I took their essence, and now you can become Spider-Man. Like, you're from Planet Spider, motherfucker. Like, what?
The spider, they didn't have any spiders on Planet Spider.
But how are you going to use the same word for your planet for fucking spiders on Earth?
All I know is I just want the cocaine that these creators took before writing this.
I need 5 more seasons, Pat.
Well, there's 50 episodes in a movie.
I need more.
It's all available on YouTube, and like I can promise you, it only gets more crazy from here.
I don't know if I can put up with that, Pat, because like when I say there was just shots of Spider-Man running away, there's little shots of a guy in a very poor Spider-Man costume running.
How dare you?
Running away, climbing up a fucking dam, kicking duck-billed villains' asses. It was crazy.
Like the repeated shots of swinging, like straight.
Yeah, and another thing about this show was, like, especially a lot of like action shots. They would have like these very like quick zooms, but they would do it like 3 to 5 times, where it'd be like.
So it's like implied that he's kicking ass.
So like Spider-Man will do like the same flip like 5 times.
Oh yeah,
But they'll
yeah.
also flip the shot so it looks like he's doing it different, but it's not.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's supposed to be implied that these are different at different points in time. Like, it's not the same thing, you know, like over-exaggerated. No, these are different flips at different times. So it's like that one flip he did is not the same to the flip that he did over there. But it's all the same shot.
It's all about conservation of energy because they only have like 5 bad guy suits, and it's in the Spider-Man's contract. It can only do so many flips.
Oh no, for sure. And I made the joke that every shot they got of Spider-Man like climbing up walls and running away were actually him trying to get away from the crew.
Because that's what it looked.
That's
like.
what it looked like. It looked like he was a crazy, very upset man trying to get away. That's what he looked like.
And though, like the entire time he's fighting like the Duckville villains on the dam, it's almost like a Scooby-Doo montage.
Yeah,
from like the old like 60s, 70s show.
Yes, exactly. That's what it exactly felt like. So there we go. We put your.
Well, we forgot how he introduced himself because when the evil assistant lady, she captures another scientist to use him against against the Earth. Spider-Man jumps through the door and she says, "Who are you?" And I'm the emissary from hell, Spider-Man.
I need that on a t-shirt.
That was so fucking good.
I don't think they read Spider-Man at all.
No, I think they got Spider-Man. Don't you remember Tom Holland saying that?
I think I want that as a tattoo. Lucas, get on that.
Make it happen.
I'm in the emissary from hell.
And then have just a face of fucking Spider-Man.
Really happy-go-lucky Spider-Man.
Yeah.
It's a picture of Takuya from the thumbnail when he's like grabbing the motorcycle handle with just like the biggest grin on his face.
I don't know who that is, but I'm gonna laugh.
It's the Peter Parker of this story.
He's the main character.
Don't know who that is.
And
just no hope for
something
you.
interesting about the Spider-Man show that it sort of started the whole like summonable giant robot. That sort of like Super Sentai and Power Rangers have really made part of their bread and butter. That started here with the Spider-Man.
Really?
Fuck.
Ahead of his time, I told you.
Because the earliest Sentai seasons, they didn't have a giant robot. I think the most they had a the first season they had a cannon. They just attacked and killed the monster with. And I think maybe the second season had a helicopter.
Oh wow!
So
Yes.
the giant robots, they didn't come until after Spider-Man really kickstarted that. Because Spider-Man has a giant robot in this show. Probably the most outrageous change from what the property we know, because he's fighting the dinosaur Cyborg. Cyborg turns into a giant, and Spider-Man tries to attack. Like, he shoots him with his string. He just gets slung into a mountainside.
It's so good because you could tell that it's a little action figure on a string.
But he gets slammed so fucking
I
hard.
really wish I could be that guy, like, slamming the action figure.
And then Spider-Man, he summons his spaceship Marveler.
Yeah.
And its spaceship comes out. Then it shoots out a car, the Spider Machine GP7.
Yeah.
Which it hits the ground, drives for a second, then flies back into the sky, shoots missiles at the dinosaur, then goes back into the spaceship, which he uses to transform into the robot Leopardon.
Which is like, why are you gonna have two different names for the same fucking thing?
Because it's Marveler's the name of the spaceship. It turns into something different. It becomes Leopardon.
Oh my god, Pat, shut up!
Specificity is key here.
I mean, yeah.
Do you know how many like silly little names I remember for all these like goddamn like little accessories and names of characters? Like in Ryu Soldier, the little men, they're called Ryu Soul. They put into their swords. They do the chompa chomp, and then they do their dance, and then they summon the dinosaur. There's a whole glossary here. You just learn.
You know, Pat, I mean, you say that like I should be surprised, but I'm not. You pull out shit all the time on the podcast, you fucking dictionary.
And that's sort of my sort of quick overview of my tokusatsu fandom. It's one of my favorite things. It gives me just so much joy, and it's something I always look forward to every episode, every season, each year, and like it's just been a big inspiration for like my art, and it's like I can't overstate it enough. It's one of my very favorite things, and I appreciate you all like taking like watching all that, being very patient and seeing a deep dive into the inner workings of my mind.
I was going to say, Pat, it makes so much sense now.
I mean, really? Yeah.
Because all the explosion, all the dancing, all the little men in awesome outfits, that's just in my head 24/7.
It's wonderful.
I don't know. I'm sorry. I could totally fucking see it, and I love it.
So before we wrap up, we'll go around the horn. What did everybody think of just of the viewing night in general, and like what were some of your favorite shows or favorite moments from what we watched? Colt?
When it comes to my favorite, the shows of the ones we've watched, it has to be the Kamen Rider 0, 1 and the Breakers. Is that
Build.
Kamen Rider Build and 0, 1. I really enjoyed those a lot, mainly because their suit designs look fantastic, and it's my favorites. But my favorite moment, probably the Spider-Man saying I'm an emissary from hell.
Yeah.
For me, it would have to be. I really, really enjoyed Kamen Rider Build, and I kind of want to watch it. And then second, of course, to that is Kamen Rider 0,
01.
My bad. 01, and oh man, I just loved it. I loved like there's so much you can do with Build, especially like the combination stuff. Because me and John were talking about how cool it would be to make a game of this, where like a very like a story based game where it's like you can just do all these different like kind of combinations and like skills and stuff. It would just be sick.
Yeah, like a Bayonetta or a Devil May Cry, like a character action game.
Yeah,
that would be fucking rad.
Get
So
Platinum Games on it.
Hell yeah.
Oh
That was
yeah.
a sick game.
Yeah, no, it'd be great. So hit us up, whoever's out there. And then my favorite moment, it still has to be from 01 with the guy just casually killing a robot. Like that.
Words cannot describe that moment, because like as we describe it, it kind of sounds like, oh, what's so special about it? You just have to see it.
You have to see it.
Yeah.
You don't need context either.
Because just to re-emphasize, this is a children's show where like the bad guy headlocks another character and uses a real ass gun and shoots him in the head.
And was laughing the entire time. Okay, go ahead, John.
I think I'm in the same boat as everybody else. I really loved Kamen Rider Build. Probably the one that like I don't know, like I'm probably going to keep up with that. I also loved 01. Just like I really loved, like Colt was saying, the designs, the action. I just really loved the tone of both of those shows. And like I enjoyed Amazon's, but like I don't know. To me, the serious tone kind of clashed with the overall Toku aesthetic.
Yeah.
But I respect it, and I can understand people liking it. It just, that one didn't really click for me, but Kamen Rider Build, that shit was on point.
Yeah.
I couldn't agree more. But overall, like it was just such a rad, fun, like just innocent fun time.
Yeah.
So, like just really great. Yeah, Kamen Rider Bill is fantastic.
Oh, my favorite moment: the entirety of Spider-Man. Just all 30 fucking minutes is just wild. You should watch it. It's on YouTube.
Yeah, go for it. Thank you, Pat, for showing us this.
Oh, I
Absolutely.
really appreciate that. It's one of my favorite things that I wanted to share that with some of my favorite people. And so, thank you all for listening today, and thank you for listening for every week. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at John Lost His Name, and you can follow me on Facebook at John Lost His Name Art. You can follow the podcast on Twitter and Instagram at AYCH Podcast, and you can follow us on Twitch at twitch.tv/AllYouCanHear, on YouTube at AllYouCanHear. That's where all of our Twitch VOD lives in perpetuity. You can watch it anytime you want. You can listen to the podcast on SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play, Google Podcasts, Overcast, Spotify, any RSS feed catchers. We're there all day and all night, anytime you want to listen. And all right, everyone, do your plugs.
My name's Colt. Follow me on Twitter at ColtD00. Thank you for listening.
My name is Winslow. You can follow me on Twitter at Winslow Wilkie. You can follow my art on Instagram at World of Winsy. Thank you for listening, and thank you to Pat for being with us for 3 fucking years.
2 years.
This is
The first one was just the first episode he started.
But this is Patcast 3.
Yeah, but doesn't mean it does not 3 years though.
We're just celebrating Pat. Can
Yes,
I?
you can. You know what? Celebrate
Can we celebrate
all
Pat?
of Pat.
Okay. Thank you, Pat.
There's a fly.
Oh yeah.
It's very dead.
My name's Jonathan. You can follow me on Twitter and Letterboxd at JohnOdinson12.
This is Lucas. You can follow me at Luke Inks. Pat, thank you for showing me that. That was wonderful. And gotta say, nice haircut, by the way, man.
Oh, thank you. I like your haircut,
Thank you.
man.
Everybody's looking good today. Round of applause for everybody. Looking
Yeah.
so damn good.
Hey!
Yeah.
Rock and Roller look like a butthole.
No one clap for that.
Rock and Roller does look like a butthole.
Yes, he does. He looks like a fucking asshole.
You know what? I'm cutting this off. Thank you, Pat, for the Patcast.